Hello there.
That was maybe the closest thing. We didn't even plan any
We
an intro.
didn't.
We never do. It's our thing, I believe. Except that there it is. Half a second before going live. I was like, wait, we don't have chat up. Bring my microphone close.
Danny.
Danny,
Hello there.
thank you. Appreciate you. We got lots of good people in here. Lots of great people. Got Matt Burge. We've got Britt. We've got Danny. We've got Bob. We've got Brent. We've got Chad. We've got Jeffrey Clinard over on YouTube, over on Instagram. I don't know how, you can't really see who's active in there unless you're chatting, but we've got Sunfield over on Instagram. Dawn is here too. Steven's trying out our new
Little keyboard mouse. Look at this.
Sides the Limits on here too.
It's a keyboard / mouse all in one.
All in one.
Makes it a whole lot easier when we're trying to do this stuff. So
It really does. This side
This
is
way.
Insta. This side is YouTube. That's backwards from normal, or no? Is that how you normally do it?
no, that's the
I
normal
don't
one.
know. Therese is here. Good journey. Good journey. That's how we should be starting our.
We should. Next one.
Yeah. Okay. You'll remember, right? I will.
I will.
We'll be taking the show on the road next time. The live stream.
It probably will.
Yeah.
It'll probably be.
If we remember.
If we remember.
To go live.
So yes.
Eric, Chad. Oh, Ikne Bob's asking what we're doing. KD's here.
Oh.
We're drinking out of Stormtrooper helmets because we don't have the popcorn bucket yet. They are.
No, I didn't want it.
Huh?
I said I didn't want it.
Oh, you didn't want it?
No.
Oh, I thought
I've had a lot of people ask me.
Oh, really?
Chad was over there. He's like, "You want a Stormtrooper bucket?" I was like, "No, thank you.
Oh.
I don't know where to put it."
What is literally on the screen next to you?
Well, no, I bet these are like wearables.
Speaking of popcorn buckets,
Okay.
Deadpool announced their popcorn
Oh.
bucket.
The Deadpool.
It was the only.
I think that bucket I want because it's gonna be
It's good. It's a pop culture icon.
it's gonna be a reference
Uh,
for sure.
I don't know if anybody else watched that, but what a phenomenon already. They crushed it. And the funny thing is, I think if it wasn't for the Dune 2 popcorn bucket, we wouldn't have had the bucket that was released today. Danny says, is it the booty one? No, it is,
It's Wolverine's head.
it's Wolverine's head. It's his face.
Go check it out, Danny. It's
Go look it up on Ryan Reynolds' Instagram because there's a video.
I think it's so funny that, or I'm surprised. It's funny, but I'm so surprised that Disney is game for like all of Ryan Reynolds' antics so far. So
To be
I
fair,
kinda
if you
feel
look
like they're
at it,
just
you're
saying,
like,
like,
okay.
he's gonna be the savior of Marvel. So they're like, just let him do his thing.
Right? Can you
Because
imagine?
that's what it kind of feels like.
Can you imagine having that kind of power? Wouldn't that be lovely?
And then Danny, we are having a
Godfather.
Godfather, and it's
It is a shot of Dewar's White Label whiskey and a shot of Amaretto.
pretty nice,
Really good.
and it's just clean.
And do you know?
No ice,
no ice. Do not put it on ice. Don't. Because anytime
don't.
I go out and order it, they put it on ice, and I'm like, "Can you give
Well,
me
'cause
a
they wanna,
different glass?" Yeah, they don't want to sell you a drink that looks like this full. But you know where I first learned about The Godfather? On my Royal Caribbean cruise earlier this year, because I had the drink package.
It's a really good drink.
I had the drink package.
Yes, Patrick, we're talking about that popcorn bucket.
That popcorn bucket. But yeah, I used my drink package to the fullest, and our server one night was like, "You like amaretto after dinner and before dessert? Can I bring you a drink that I think you're gonna like?" And she was right. This is amazing. We drink them often,
Yeah.
and we have Stormtrooper glasses to drink them out of. But yes, that popcorn bucket is there. We go. Everybody's looking up the popcorn bucket.
See, that's what I need to add. I need to add the ability to put our pictures up, so that way, when we're talking about something, we could just
Just pull it up for everybody.
yeah.
He is Marvel Jesus.
Uh,
Let's see. Wolverine has never looked happier. The Jabba bucket is a work of art. So did y'all see the Jabba bucket that somebody like rhinestoned out?
oh yeah,
That one looked really good.
And Brent missed the R2 one that came out again with Phantom Menace.
Oh man, I don't think I knew there was.
I knew
one.
it was, but I didn't even. It wasn't a thing of like trying because, we weren't around for May 4th, and then
No.
it was just like. I knew I wasn't gonna be able to get them.
Yeah.
I think limited availability.
Limited. Jeffrey says, I'm completely unsurprised you like Royal Caribbean outside of Disney. I think that's the right brand of cruise ship for you. I loved it. I really did.
Oh,
It was-
Mary Ches got the R2 bucket.
Oh, look at that. We've had some popcorn bucket luck. Ooh, Bad Batch Mama's here. She said we got the R2 cup and bucket, but not the Phantom Menace bucket. Nice. You guys are
Yeah,
you're crushing it.
Some people have luck.
No. Well, thank goodness we don't collect popcorn buckets though.
No, I mean right now we get those cups at Disney, like the refillables.
Oh, I love them.
We have a whole bunch of them,
So
and I think
many.
it's like our millennial, like, oh, I don't want to throw it out because I might use it. And I think
Well,
now I'm at the point of
Throw them all away.
throw them all away. Well, because the
I'm
thing
at the
too is
point
like,
where like we have so many. We have over 2,000 probably. That
Yeah.
it's like if somebody comes to our house and they want to take a drink home, here's a cup.
yeah, and that's like it's like that's how we've used it.
Shane's here. He said, "What I missed, start over." Shane, have you seen the popcorn bucket for Deadpool? Because that's what we've been talking about so far.
And the the commercial for it or whatever, the ad. Did you see it?
The video, we watched
Yeah.
that together. I think we were sitting there just like,
The butter on the face.
oh man. When they did that, I think I was like, I gasped out loud. I clutched my pearls. Bad Batch Mama says she paid almost paid $120 for it on Mercari, and then luckily my brain
Oh my
said, "Stop!
gosh.
This is a popcorn bucket." I try to avoid watching trailers for films I'd like to see. There was a new trailer for, oh, I forget what it was. It just came out. Dang, Moana 2.
Oh yeah.
I didn't watch it. Did you?
No, I haven't
Oh.
seen it yet.
I did watch the trailer for
I've-
Wicked.
Right
For-
now, I am.
Teresa and I like to cry over Wicked together.
I went through the whole Planet of the Apes to catch up.
Oh,
Even though like
yeah.
I don't necessarily want to go watch the movie, but since it came out, I was like, oh, you know what? Let me like rewatch them, and they're good movies. It's like a good like it's one of those like I think underrated movies. Like it wasn't like, oh my gosh, you need to go see it, you need to go see it, but like the new movie came out, so there's little
There's
rumble
hype
like
for it to go.
go see the old ones.
Yeah,
And
it's really
I
good.
enjoyed it. I enjoyed like sitting there watching it. And the thing is like I put it on so that me and the kids could watch it. All of us could sit there and watch it. None of y'all wanted to watch it. And then at the end, by the third one, you guys are like, "What's going on? Who's that? Who's that?"
No,
I'm like,
to
"No,
be fair,
no,
to be
I'm
fair,
not telling you anything."
no. To be fair, I did that to you for every single movie. Right at the end of the movie,
It's like, "What's going on? Who's what? Wait, how are they talking?"
did
You're
they
like,
talk? They didn't used to talk. Well, the problem is like you put them on, and then I'm just like,
Yes, Bad Batch. Like
I can't sit
it
still.
was. It was like very like no, like Caesar's home. And
See, I
then-
didn't get to see that this time. So the only
This-
time
the
I had
part-
ever,
And the thing is like it's the moment, like it's a build up. It's not like if I
Yeah.
tell you, you're like, oh, okay. But it's like no, it's like the whole thing.
you have to watch the whole thing. But see, I've only ever seen like of all of the Planet of the Apes before was that scene that Caesar is home when the movie first came out, and you were watching it and it, like came in at the very end, and I'm hopeful that I didn't say like, so what's going on, but I probably did.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. Steven is an impeccable storyteller. It's like one of my favorite things about watching a movie with you is I like to not watch the movie so that I can come in towards the end and then I'm like, wait, so who is that? Well, why are they doing that? And then you like pause it and you'll spend 5 to 10 minutes walking me through like all of the pivotal things and the people and their motivations. But it's like you do such a good job of it that I would rather just have you tell me than sit there and watch it for an hour. I love
But
like
I want to watch the movie.
well,
I'm
that's
trying
why
to tell
you paused it. I bring you a drink. I bring you a Godfather. You give me a synopsis. But it was, I watched what? I probably watched half of all 3 of the movies in total.
Yeah.
But
The first half of each of the movies.
No, maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
I watched the last half of the last one.
It is.
I'm also trying to learn not to like slow you down because we started watching it together and then I had to go do something. And
Okay. Right here, this is gonna be my like.
no, we're not going to fight this early in the live stream.
Because the thing is, I love to.
The thing is,
I love to sit and watch a movie with you. I'd love to do that.
do you?
Yes. So that way we could like enjoy it together and we could talk about it afterwards.
Oh.
But you like to get
I zoot.
get on your phone,
I
do
zoot
something
around.
else, and it is so annoying when you're not gonna wait for me to. I was like, I'm not gonna be able to ever finish anything.
But I've stopped doing that
No.
as much. You didn't let me finish.
And I think the thing is like there's other shows that I don't want to like we start watching and you're like, oh, you don't want to watch it with me, and I'm like, no, I'm okay. I don't want to watch it anymore. You're
Yeah.
like, well, then how do I watch it? I was like, you could watch it. I'm telling you, like I started with you, but it doesn't
But some of the
grasp
things
me,
are like,
and I don't want to
know.
watch it.
I know. But those are the ones that like I would rather. If I'm not going to watch it with you, I don't want to watch it at all.
I mean, that's fine, but I don't want to watch them any those.
When mom and dad fight. But I didn't slow you down with Planet of the Apes. I did really want to sit there and watch the whole thing, like all of them. Oh,
Yes, Andy
You'll be-
Serkis is incredible in those movies.
you will be so proud of me. I wanted to watch The Fifth Element so bad with you the other day because we started it together, and I've never sat there and watched it all the way through. I've seen bits and pieces of it, and I think you put it on because we saw some cosplayers at Comic Palooza last weekend wearing Fifth Element
Yeah.
cosplays. And so you put it on and I was like, wait, what's happening? And so we sat there and we were watching it together. And I think I had to leave for like a doctor's appointment or something. And I was like, but I couldn't say, hey, stop doing the thing you're doing because I can't do it right now.
Okay, yes.
And I didn't say anything. And you finished watching it. And I was like, so how was the
Well, but
rest
the
of our
thing
movie?
was, is like that's such an old movie.
I can go back and watch it on
That's
my
the
own.
thing. It's like it's such an old movie that it's not like a thing of like, or I've seen it so many times that I was like, I don't mind watching it again.
Oh no.
Type of thing.
Jason's mad at me for not watching. I've seen it. That's the thing. I've seen
Well,
it.
so the
But
thing-
also here, I probably have sat down and watched that movie in its entirety. Like really and truly, I probably did sit there with you at some point and watch it. I don't remember it. I do not like. We watched
so
Planet of the Apes.
The thing I wanted you to watch, and I don't know if it's something like I know I kind of mentioned it to you, is like there's this like the premise for
Oh,
Star Cruiser is so closely related to Fifth Element. It's just like it's crazy.
let's
so I was
watch.
like-
Let's start it
So,
over.
Yeah, I mean it's a good movie.
Because it got to the point where it like referenced it, and you were like, listen to this piece about the luxury cruiser with high profile clients or whatever, or passengers, and like both of the kids are like, mom, and you're like, look, and I was like, I gotta go. But really and truly, we just watched a trilogy of Planet of the Apes. Ask me what happened.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
I want to see the new one just because like now I've seen them. Yes, we do need to watch Fifth Element, and I'm down to watch that.
You'll watch it with me, even though you
I'll
just
watch it
watched it a
again.
couple days ago. Thank you.
So.
Boop. Fight's over. Oh, one of the other things we've been watching lately. Well, we started rewatching. Did anybody out there? Did you watch MXC, the Most Extreme Elimination Challenge? Because what were they running from?
They're running two.
The Most Extreme Elimination Challenge.
Oh,
So-
yeah, they're not. Are they running two? They're running from.
No, they're running to it. What
Okay.
are those people running from? It was turns out it was from the 80s. It was a Japanese game show from the 80s, and it was called Takashi's Castle.
It was I knew that. I knew it was redubbed. It wasn't.
Well, we knew it was redubbed, but it was hilariously redubbed on G4 Fuse.
Ooh.
I think
that's
it was
a good one.
G4,
It might have been G4, and then it went to Spike for a while.
and then it went to Spike. I think we even bought them on DVD. Like we just loved that show, and like it was what Wipeout was inspired by. It's
Yeah.
very silly obstacle courses that are
Well, they had
designed
like
to make to humiliate
like the-
humiliate the contestants, but not in like a.
no, it wasn't to humiliate. Like
It's
Wipeout's
just
to
very
humiliate.
silly. Yeah.
It was this one was just like silly, super silly obstacles, and then MXC like put these kind of crude,
Kind of like
innuendos in there.
and
it-
but like Mystery Science Theater kind of dub
Yeah.
overs with Guy.
Yeah.
And who was the other one?
Vic Romano. Well, the host was Vic Romano and I don't remember the other guy's name.
But there were like the two guys that were there was Guy and I forget the other guy that were like the in the field reporters.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, hilarious show. We used to watch it all the time, wee back in the day. But they just redid the show.
Redid the original show.
Redid the original Takashi's Castle show. It's all Japanese. It's not in English at all. So you have to sit there and read it. But it's just like super funny.
Yeah.
And it's reminded of us of like the time when we first started dating because we used to watch that. And we used to watch
American or
Ninja Warrior.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Mount Midoriyama, but yeah. So we've been watching that one when we can because the problem with that is that's a solo screen. You cannot do
Well, 'cause you're
anything
reading it,
else. You have
yeah.
to read it.
Yeah.
Just like Planet of the Apes. You had to read
Oh,
most
yeah.
of that
Well,
because
that
you
was-
put it on to go to bed the other day.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, well, I can't even do anything because they're just
Just, like,
grunting at each other.
grunting.
I was like, I have
Like,
to
I
actually.
understand. Oh man.
But yeah, that's. I mean, we've gotten a little stint of watching movies. What else? I think
Okay, so let's talk about what we typically talk about,
last
which is
episode.
last episode. Did you watch it? Did anybody watch it?
Yeah, there's some of you guys that watched it out there.
No, it was a really fun conversation. So we got to talk to our friend Aaron Sagers.
Which this is where I want to get in, and I wanted to like kind of put it like doing an interview with Aaron
Yeah.
is it's not like stressful, but it's like okay, we got to make sure we're good.
He's a personality. Like,
Yeah,
he's
he-
literally an on-air personality.
Yeah. So he's like this is what he does for a living. So like we're getting to like an opportunity to interview him. So we don't do our normal like intro and
We
mess
had-
ups before. We're like, okay, we only have a limited time with him. Like he's given us this much time. So we're like, all right, let's make sure we get in there, start having our conversation and we'll worry about like anything else
Yeah.
after.
Right.
And after watching it again, I was like, oh my gosh. Like we didn't even let him like introduce himself, like who he is and like what he does. Like we
He-
kind of talk about it.
He did a good job of kind of like walking us through his story.
He's
of-
a professional.
He's a absolute professional. Because like as he was talking, I was like, at some point we have to introduce who he is. At some point we have to introduce who he is. And then he kind of did that, and I was like, did he do? I don't know. Like maybe we need to like go back to it at some point. And then the conversation just like kept going further down. I was like, it's too late. Like we
I
can't do anything. I can't come back from that.
Wait a minute, like who are you? No, afterwards I was just like, oh my gosh, like we didn't even like, and I think that's like a simple, who are you? What do you do?
I know.
But no, I
Who
like,
is your daddy? What does he do? But yeah, I'm so grateful that he came on the show to talk to us about. He talked a little bit about his journey with really getting involved with like conventions and building community, and I thought it was a really interesting conversation because we've tried to help like foster this community around Star Cruiser, and his community that he has, it's more focused on like paranormal and like spooky things.
yeah,
But he also does really love Disney, and he loves Star Wars, and he loves pop culture, and he loves tiki drinks and bars. And so he's got all of these different things, but we're working with what we're doing with Spooky Explorers Club together. We're working on building a new community.
well, and I think the thing is like the thing that it was that I guess that he took notice is how we have such a good community,
Yeah.
right? Of it either being Star Cruiser or being Mosh, or we like that's just like we just like have this family that we are just constantly growing because there's new interests.
Yeah.
If it's Star Wars or shoes or clothes. Like it's just like this new, everybody's kind of, putting their elbows out and growing bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And so I think that was one of the things I feel that he took notice is like, hey, look, there's this, this community building aspect to it. Like, he has his paranormal people, but he likes to do these other things too.
Yeah.
He likes to do the tiki stuff. He likes to do the comic, the conventions and Marvel type stuff.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, he's like super knowledgeable of like all that stuff.
I know.
That's when you say like, oh man, this is like a true nerd.
Yeah. No, it was great to talk to him. And like, it's just totally bizarre because we have known him for a year, like just 1 year. And we've run into him. We've seen him, 5-6 times maybe in the span of a year.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
And not even like intentionally.
No, a lot of it's been just like, what? Hey.
Yeah.
How
Like
are
you're
you
doing that
here?
too?
Yeah. So it's been pretty cool to just wind up crossing paths with people because of something like a Star Cruiser or just this community that you have. And you're just like, oh, well, have you met this person yet? And then you guys link up and then off takes all these adventures and different things. And so we're doing Spooky Explorers Club.
Yeah.
Which I'm really excited about. It's it's not really it's a convention, but it's
Well, again,
like a
I think this
cool
is where we were
convention.
kind of like trying to really describe what it was, because and in our head, or in my head, when I was kind of like thinking of it, is like a convention has the autograph, it has artist alley, it has the vendors, you have panels and stuff like that. Well, how do you make that a more intimate setting?
yeah.
And so you have like someone like Aaron, this professional and what he does, and in a celebrity in his realm, having like panels talking about whatever spooky subject,
Right.
then going on this tour through the park. So you're just having like this experience with that. So it's just like you're having a more tailored con, and it just kind of like it's a
like
different feel. It's not this like big thing. It's more of a more intimate, smaller. And again, and I think that was the thing too, is like we were like, well, they're kind of both needed. You could appreciate the bigness of a Comic-Con, but having something intimate is
Right.
fun as well.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a mix between a convention and then like a conference. But with a conference, like you're just sitting in a room and somebody's talking at you. And we're going to have some of that where there's going to be some conversation, some speaking pieces of it. But then all those people, the people that you just heard speak, we're all going to the park and we're all going to go to Mickey's Not So Scary, and we're going to go ride rides and take pictures and do scavenger hunts. And I cannot quite yet comment on the types of scavenger hunts, but like what I am working on, I am so jacked for it, because it is, I can't even say it, but it's something that we found out about very recently that's like this very cool, not exclusive, but I don't think many people know about it anyway. So we're working on getting something custom done for this group specifically so that we can do some cool like, yes, the Disney parks are amazing. And I think for a lot of the people that have signed up so far, like this is their first time going to Disney. So you could just like let people loose in the parks and say, go have fun. But the whole point of this is to foster relationships.
Yeah.
With the
but I
people.
think on this part, this is where I'm able to look at it, and this is where I'm speaking more on the outside of it. Your participation in it is more as that travel agent, but also I think this is where you get excited because you're able to, just like a Mosh or like like the Star Cruiser stuff, it's planning this event, like planning, like the planner,
Like
of
a
the good
coordinator,
time,
yeah.
a coordinator.
Yeah.
And that's where it becomes more fun, because you're seeing like, oh, we could do, it's put this spooky spin on it. Here's a birthday party. Let's do all these kind of theming, and then, but I know having a conversation with you, like by ourselves, you're kind of like, oh, like what if we did one for this kind of group, or do this kind of group, like, and just like just
Yeah.
mixing it up, having different types of, you know, event or like experiences like that, but just for different, you know,
Yeah.
not Star Wars people, not for spooky people, but for whoever, you know.
Yeah, and I think that's what my goal is becoming is it's not I absolutely love the Star Cruiser community. Like they are all of you are such wonderful people and bring so much light to Star Wars because Star Wars maybe doesn't always have the brightest of lights shining on it. Um but it helped me to see, and I thought it was so focused on Star Cruiser and brought it up in the episode too. But it's just this community of people that we all get it, and in this case is Star Cruiser and what Star Cruiser gave us. But that it doesn't have to be Star Cruiser. We can build other communities because okay, I like Star Cruiser. We like Star Cruiser. Aaron Sakers likes Star Cruiser. But he's also in, we both really like Disney. It's like, okay, well, let's do something Disney. He's like, well, I like spooky stuff. And I've got this big, following that likes spooky stuff. And it's like, okay, well, let's build a community around that.
I mean, one of the hosts, yeah, you announced it. You announced it. I'm just making sure.
Which
One
one?
of the hosts,
'Cause we didn't announce one of the hosts.
yeah, one of the hosts, she's never been to Disney.
Yeah. Becky Ann Galentine. She's huge. She's got a
Like,
huge
she's a
social
big,
media following.
big spooky, you know.
She's never been
following.
to Disney. And
Never
she's,
been to Disney. So it's like, again, you're bringing in, or having other people experience different things.
right. But she has tons of knowledge on like Victorian era, like funerals and paranormal. And so we can talk to her about Haunted Mansion and like what are the actual, like, what historical things created Haunted Mansion and what can we glean from that? Like it's a silly ride in a theme park, right? Not really. Like there's a lot that went into the theming of that. And we know that Imagineers go and do all this research. And so like what was that?
Yeah.
Same with like Tower of Terror and all the spooky things in the park. So it's going to be like a very, very tailored experience for people that are really into spooky, but also enjoy not so scary type of spooky. Like me, I'm the not so scary type of person. So it's going to be really cool. I'm really looking forward to it. I really want to start doing this for other groups, like you said. Maybe give me a month off before we start thinking about the next one because we're running like Spooky Explorers Club and Good Journey at the same time. So like, let's take a little. Let's let
We got those.
They're
and then
waves.
The moshes.
No, we've got moshes coming. I know it's never ending.
Summer's gonna be pretty busy. Let me catch up.
Okay.
So,
Oh, somebody was
Katie-
asking about your shoes.
Katie's asking the shoes. So we got the. I don't even remember what they're called, but they're the yellow Jordan 4s.
They're not the ochre.
No,
How do you say that word? Does anybody know how to say that?
OCHRE.
Yeah, I think it's ochre.
Have it match. So I got one of the Roosevelts.
The May the 4th collection
yeah.
pullovers, quarter zips.
Oh, and then those new one piece Roosevelts.
Ooh. Yeah.
Hey,
So
do we have a code?
we have a link.
Okay.
I don't know if I can share the link. It's not a.
Okay, not yet.
They're not doing discount codes anymore. I
Okay.
believe. So there's like a different. Basically, it's not a code, but it's like an affiliate link.
Okay.
But I don't know if I can share that. I should have asked today when I was chatting with them.
Okay, never mind. You have
We
heard
said
nothing.
nothing. But yeah, they dropped One Piece stuff,
Yeah.
and
I'm already, again, in my head, I'm just thinking, but I need to get on these things.
as are we're always thinking in our
Yeah.
heads.
Have you talked the video about the Star Cruiser failure that went wrong? Rich, we kind of mentioned it on our last live stream. We have not watched it, but from what we've heard, she didn't have a good time, and I feel for her because we did enjoy it.
Yeah, she had a different experience than I think probably than I know a majority of people did, and I think part of that
majority
was
of the people here too.
a majority of the people here, but the majority of the people it was literally the highest rated Disney experiences to have ever existed. But she didn't have the best time. She went early on when there were still some wrinkles to iron out, and she has a big following, and so that's I think why the video went viral, and I think that's why it's so talked about specifically in like our worlds because we all loved Star Cruiser. And so to hear anybody say that they didn't enjoy it, it's like, wait, what? And it's shocking. But that was one person's
she's
experience.
yeah.
If you did it and you enjoyed it, or if you've been around the community and you enjoy the community, like I would not let the opinions of one person sway what you
I
think.
think that's the thing, is like, we shouldn't, if you enjoyed it, you truly enjoyed it, then continue to enjoy it, or, remember it
Yeah.
in a good light. Don't let someone else's opinion dull that shine.
Right. Well, what did we concluded? It's don't yuck somebody's yum.
Yeah.
And that's
Carrie?
it. Carrie says, feel like I just saw you. Happy Thursday. I know, we were just live streaming on Sunday, and now we're back. Because Sunday was a very special live where we talked specifically about the Good Journey cruise, which we'll talk about a little bit as well. Meredith, so you're over on Instagram. Hello, hello. Let's see. If I didn't like something, I wouldn't spend 4 hours complaining about it. Yeah, I mean, well, I don't know. People, we love to complain. I don't think I would spend 4 hours publicly complaining about it. I'm trying. I'm reading this.
I always think of like, what was the movie? It was like where the person is like, frick, just like, it was Home Alone.
Oh,
Where like Joe Pesci's character, he's just like getting up and he's just like
complaining all the time.
Just making noises and not really like, that's what I think of, like, complaining a lot in my head.
I think because it went viral, it riled up the bad faith haters who just wanted it to fail from the start. Negativity always seems to go viral, sadly. Kitra, of course you're in here when this video's mentioned.
I know a different 4-hour video about the experience.
You know what? If I could throw the link.
I have watched that video.
Yeah, if I could throw that link in the chat right now, I would. But if you don't know Kitra, and if you don't know what she's talking about, go to Ordinary after this.
So this little channel.
Tiny little channel called Ordinary Adventures. And they did a comprehensive video that's 4 hours long of the full story of Star Cruiser. So from every aspect of every path that you followed. It's so good.
Yeah.
Does the 4-hour video have us eating the Gungan balls and you making that face of absolute disgust in it?
It probably. I'm gonna do a 4-hour video on those Gungan balls.
Every once in a while when we're like, whenever I'm looking through because we have to refer back to our photos a lot, but whenever I'm looking through that, like, I always just crack up because I think Brooke was feeding it to me. Did Brooke feed it to me? I don't know, but Brooke's got her hands near my face and I'm I think she was trying to like stop it. Anyway, we got these Gungan balls. They were chocolate truffles, but it had like Gungan slime inside of it. And Peter and Kitra were recording it, and Steven's in the background just like absolutely disgusted. And me and Brooke are just like laughing and having a great time. Teresa says, oh my God, when someone asked me recently if I saw the 4-hour Star Cruiser video, I literally sent back to them the Ordinary Adventures one.
New Hope. Bless you guys for taking the high ground on this one.
I wouldn't be able to do it. I mean, but really and truly, like, I'm not going to spend 4 hours of my time watching a video about somebody that didn't enjoy something that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
Not even for like, oh, well, let me get a full. Why do I need to get a grasp on somebody else's opinion of something that doesn't exist anymore either?
I think there's sometimes a time that there's information that you need to watch. Like, there's something that you have to watch that even though you don't want to, because it's informative. But the fact that we went as many times as we did, and we were part of the community that enjoyed, like, that knew how special this thing was.
Yeah.
Watching that video is just trying to convince me of that it was a bad decision. And I don't think that's, like, I already know. Like, I experienced it.
Yeah, we know.
Regardless of what you say, I experienced it firsthand multiple times. So,
yes.
And then I've talked with other people that have experienced it and felt the same way that I felt. So you can't try to, tell me that the sky is purple when I know it's not.
Right. Everybody needs to be like Bad Batch Mama. I don't even know what the video is or who posted it. That's how you live that life.
Well, look, and honestly, it never crossed across my feed.
Yeah.
I just knew about it because
everybody sent it to us.
it was sent to us.
Yeah.
So it's like I knew nothing of it until it was sent to us.
Yeah.
So good for
Jeffrey-
you.
Jeffrey says something can be great, but also be a bad business decision. The two things are not mutually exclusive. No, and I mean, here's the thing. We absolutely love Star Cruiser. It was not without its flaws. Like, we acknowledge that.
Yeah.
Even our first video was like, why you maybe shouldn't bring your kids to Star Cruiser. Like, it
But
was.
again, I think, and this is the hard thing with these. I don't know enough if I said this, but with these honest reviews, an honest review, it's so subjective,
Yes.
subjective,
Subjective.
because someone that's giving that review could be a person that, in general, looks at life in a half glass full type of view, or that person is half glass empty.
Yep.
Like, doesn't matter, just life. That's how they take it. Because you could have I'm going to Disney and my room wasn't ready. How dare they? This is unacceptable. Or my room wasn't ready, but they gave me some fast pass, not expecting that, but they gave it to me, and you're kind of like, oh, hey, like something kind of bad happened, but they made it better.
Yeah.
But it's just, I guess your perspective on things. Like, are you gonna let it beat you down and say this is the worst experience ever, or like, yeah, they didn't have this, and that's.
But even if your room wasn't ready for 4 hours, it's like, well, my room wasn't ready for 4 hours, but then we went and rode a ride at the parks and had like the best time ever. Like, even if they're not compensating you for something that went wrong.
I mean, and I think that's the other thing is, like, you're expecting something. You're like, oh, I expect it. It's like, no, it's not. That's not what it shouldn't be a thing if I expect it. But I'm just saying, I think just like the way you're looking at things is having just even just a positive, not even a positive, but just like take it easy.
Chill vibes
just
only.
chill out. Yeah.
Just chill out.
You know,
But we've talked about this a lot. We've had, I think, multiple episodes on like, just if you go into
I order more vodka.
But if you go into a situation like Disney, if you go into your trip and you're like, I'm going to ride 10 rides every day and we're not going to wait in lines and everything's going to go smooth and nobody's going to be cranky, we're all going to be ready to rope drop, and you go in with that expectation that everything is going to be perfect about your day, and then you get there and you sleep past your alarm, or the kids refuse to wake up, or you wanted to ride 10 rides and Genie Plus was terrible that day and you got on 4 rides. Like, you have to roll with the punches.
Yep.
You have to roll with the punches. And it's not a thing of like setting your expectations too low, but like right sizing your expectations.
And I think the thing too is like there's been it's no fault of, I'm trying to remember when I hurt my leg it was at Disney or something like that.
Yeah,
And
Dapper Day.
I had a miserable time.
Yes. Can
I
confirm.
I had a miserable time.
Yeah.
It was no fault of anybody else, but I knew
Because
that.
you were looking too good in the park. Because remember, it was Dapper
'Cause
Day,
yeah.
and you and our son, you dappered as C-3PO, and our son was R2, but you wore dress shoes because they were the only like goldish, like camel colored shoes.
Yeah.
So you wore dress shoes in
But
the
I
park.
mean, I did. But just the whole thing is,
Yeah.
I could have looked at it as like they didn't have enough seating. They didn't, see me in pain and do something about it. It's like
Right.
I shouldn't have worn those shoes. I decided
Lesson
to,
learned.
and after that, I was miserable.
Yeah.
There was no chicken tendies at
Yacht Club.
at yacht club. Like, I could have complained about every other thing, but it was just like,
Yeah.
I messed up and I got to
But
roll
we're
with
at
it.
Disney. Like,
Yeah.
we're going to enjoy it because we're there and we're on vacation. We're having a good time. But
So
yeah.
I think it's just taking it in stride.
I mean, and that's why you shouldn't, like, even for people that are overly positive, like, maybe they just really, really enjoy everything about life. And so if you go in and you experience it and you're like, oh, I didn't think it was as great. It's like, well, we all have different perspectives on things. So one person isn't right and one person isn't wrong. Like, you can both be right in your own right. The chats are going crazy.
Yes, Mary, have a tissue because it is.
The Ordinary Adventures video is fantastic. Nothing will change. Oh, Taylor says he hasn't seen the video yet.
Yeah, and again, it's not going to change anything.
No.
It's still gone.
Okay, over on YouTube, it's moved so much that we have to scroll up, I think, if we want to see everything. Get our baby keyboard. Oh no. Maybe we can keep from where we are. Oh, there we go. Okay. It's going down instead of up.
Sorry.
There we go. There we go. There we go. We wanted to go. Aw, Brian and Travis. They had a bout with cancer, never made it
Oh,
to
no.
Star Cruiser. So sorry to hear that. But between yours, Peter and Kitra's, and Dano's videos, we felt included and loved what it was. Well, thank you for sharing that. I'm so sorry you guys had to go through that. Bob took one for the team and watched all 4 hours. Yeah, right? Like, you're at Disney. Like, just enjoy that. Even if you're doing nothing.
Yeah, Bob's half glass empty type. Ordered more vodka. Like that. Therese says experience at Star Cruiser.
In a lot of ways, you got out what you put in, and some of her comments seemed like she didn't put much effort in. It could be. Like I said, we haven't watched it, so like we really don't. Like we've
So
only
you're
heard
telling,
what people.
You're telling us.
Yeah, we don't know. When I worked for a Vegas casino resort, if rooms were not ready, they'd give people a meal voucher for the coffee shop. Some people were happy, some complained. I mean, that's the thing, and they don't have to do anything, right? Like, there's no guarantee that your room is going to be ready on time, or that you're going to get to go ride a ride in a theme park, or that your flight's going to be on time. Like, I've had the worst luck with flights this year in that I think 50% of my flights have been delayed at least an hour or more.
I keep telling you, like, oh, wait a couple minutes. Like, they keep being delayed. Get your money back now.
I know now I can, but it's like, oh man, it's
But
delayed.
I think at that point you don't get the flight, right? They're like, all right,
I don't know.
they
Maybe
don't give you your money back and
the flight. That'd be nice. I'd wait an extra 3 hours for that.
You're
But
like,
yeah.
no, wait.
I mean, it happens. It's just like, what can you do about it? That's the thing. Like, what can you do about it? You can be angry, but it's not going to change the fact that your flight's not leaving.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So Katie, speaking of bad experiences, All There's Breedlove just did a video about when things go wrong at Disney. They use stories people sent them, including ones I sent about my kid who was on a bad trip.
Huh.
Nice.
Sunfield says, I watch the Ordinary Adventures video once a week. Oh, Peter's here. Imagine showing it. Peter, happy birthday to Galaxy's Edge West. Even though you told us that earlier today. But happy birthday nonetheless. Imagine showing up at Walt Disney World not knowing you have to join a virtual queue at 7 a.m. and you show up and Genie's sold out and the lines are long. Disney takes some research to have it. It does take some research. That's why you need a good travel planner. Thank you so much for that plug, Peter.
Yeah, that was like a perfect
Thanks for
setup.
that setup, Peter. No, it does. Like, Disney is not an easy trip to go on and just be like, hey, I'm here. Let's see what the day has for me. Because even Disneyland is easier to kind of show up and roll with, but they're big vacations. They're expensive vacations.
I think the fact that Disney has the pay to win stuff, that's what makes it difficult.
Mm-hmm.
It's not always like an even playing field. So when you have the Genie Plus, you have to work with that, and then early hours, and you have to deal with that, or they're closed for events or something like that. You have to you have to know when to go to do things.
You do, and most people don't go to Disney all that often, and so they want the most bang for their buck, and it's difficult if you don't even know what to research. Like, I remember the first time I went, I was like, there's how many parks? They're how far apart from each other? How do you get there? What do we do? There is rolling with the punches, but not at certain prices. I went and loved it. It was clear that her experience had a lot of issues, like technical, weather, perception. The thing is, that wasn't the same for everyone. And here's the other thing. It's like, many people went to Star Cruiser and absolutely loved it. It was not for everybody.
Yeah.
There is no thing that exists that everybody will agree on that they enjoy.
And I think the thing too is like we always said from the very beginning is it is a high price. We said we think it's still worth it, but and we went several times, but it was a higher cost
Yeah.
of entertainment.
Halsey and Doc over on Instagram. We're over. It says I haven't watched much of it, and I agree about life attitude. D Mouse says we wish we could have gone for our honeymoon, but we had a fantastic family moon. Thank you, Sarah. Oh, and I know exactly who you are, D. That was a fun one to plan. That's what I miss. I really miss like planning all of this stuff for people because I got to help people live out their Star Wars dreams, and it was like the best. Like every time I would get off the phone with somebody or I would get somebody booked or I would get them the things that they wanted, I would like come out and I'd be like, oh my God, okay, there's this family and here's what's going on. Or these people are going on their honeymoon, and now it's like,
Frank.
but now we have bigger trips to plan, so that's okay.
Oh, yeah. All right, let's get caught up so then we could talk about this is like a good segue into it. I had no problems with the app, didn't mind scanning craze, but did wish there was more. The weather was expected in September in Florida. Had a great time with friends.
Yeah, we never went when the weather
I think even
was
now,
nice.
I wish there was more to do. I know there's people that hate the app, regardless, and there's people that love the app. But
you know who you are. You're in here.
delayed.
Yeah, flight delays. They're never fun, but airports have alcohol.
Brian and Travis.
It's okay.
We plan on taking the hubby to Batu East. Yes. For the first time in December. Oh.
East, you mean the right coast. Provided he's strong enough. We love your podcast. We can't wait for what the future holds.
Yes. Hopefully
I hope. Keep us posted on that, please.
Yeah.
I want to know. I want to know if you, thank you for your kindness. Yeah, please keep in touch and let us know how everything goes in December. You're going to have good weather in December. You're going to have Christmas decorations. Like December's it's such a good time to go to Florida. It's tolerable being outside in the elements in December. I watched no less than 40 hours of videos prior to our one and only Star Cruiser voyage. Did I know too much? Maybe, but I fully prepared to make the most out of our experience. I also found this channel. Well, thank you for that. But there's some people that want to go. I mean, and to be fair for the video, like they went on an early voyage. There was not a lot of information out about it. Like the people that went on the very first voyages, like we were all just kind of taking chances and we're like, we hope this is great. We have no idea what we're getting into.
Yeah.
But I kind of loved that too.
Oh, again, that's as an early adopter. There's a chance, in any early adopting electronics. There's early adopters, vehicles and
literally anything. Yeah. There's early adopters.
You're gonna take that chance of it not being exactly what was intended.
Yeah,
and there's gonna be tweaks along the way.
Yep.
And that's okay. The fact that Galactic Star Cruiser existed at all is a miracle, and the friendships are the gift that keeps on giving. Priceless.
Agreed. Very much so. I think that's.
See, look, new friends. Dad loves Disney. I wish I went a second time. The first time, I was a bit overwhelmed, but knowing what to do, what to expect, I think I would have loved it much more the second time. Did you like the second time more?
Yes.
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 And
but again,
down,
yes.
we talked about that in
after
our episode.
Our second, yeah, we
because
did
it was like
another
one
episode.
Of those, we went at the first time, very unexpected. Still loved it, but there was just so much more that we wanted.
It was overwhelming because there were times when you and I looked at each other, like literally, and I don't know if I've shared this before, but there was a time where I think it was the end of night one, and I felt like I had gotten nowhere in the story, and I looked at you and I was like, do I even like this? Like, am I doing this right? I don't know. And I'm like, I started freaking out because I was like, I helped book so many people on this thing and I don't know that I understand it. And I was freaking out. And then by the end of the second day, I was like, nope, best thing ever. Like, it just, you have to understand that. And so that's why we started talking about Star Cruiser so much and trying to do it in a way that was spoiler free. That was like, here's the things that you really need to do to prepare yourself for this so that you can go have a better first experience than we did, where you're not sitting there like, what am I supposed to do now? Because I have no
Well,
idea.
I think the other part of it was like, for me, there's that discovery of things. Like, I'm okay knowing it, but I don't want to ruin it, because sometimes that is the best part of seeing somebody else's face like light up when they're like, "Oh my gosh, am I seeing what I'm seeing right now?"
Yeah.
So
Let's see. My wife is
an introvert and gets
Int-
uncomfortable doing hoop-de-doo. Not a Star Wars fan. Doesn't care for Disney Channel. Isn't the biggest fan of. She loves Star Cruiser.
It was wonderful. It was absolutely wonderful. Frank says exactly, Stephen, always going to be things that need to be worked out. And that's what she experienced. Unfortunately, I feel sorry for her, but I believe if it was still here, it would only get better.
Yeah.
Jeffrey says that moment I had buy-in was when I talked to Wraith about restricted systems on day one. His face lit up and I was on my path.
Yeah. No, those touch moments were kind of like the moments. So
Yeah. D asks, any chance of us getting in on the cruise coming up? Yeah. So that is a great segue to move on from. We can't go on Star Cruiser anymore. So sorry. We
But
wish we
from that-
could.
from that, because we were gonna do an annual, they took it away,
Oh,
and so then we did an annual or
an anniversary
cruise on the Wish.
On the Wish. So we had an anniversary cruise on the Wish on March 1st, and we won't go into all the details like we did on Sunday's live stream where we broke down like everything that was going on. But we had a cruise for anybody in the Star Cruiser community or beyond, people that love Star Cruiser. And we did it on March 1st because that was the anniversary of it opening. It opened on March 1st, 2022. March 1st, 2023, we went on the Wish together. We had over 200 people there. That was a core memory of mine was I had my back turned to the group when we were taking that first group photo and turning around and seeing hundreds of people there. Like, the fact that this community cares about each other so much and still wants to get together and like craves it. You yearn to be near other people that get it. And the fact that we can do that is just like so incredible to me.
Yeah.
And so we were like, I think it was probably in that moment that I was like, we can't stop doing this. Like, we have to keep getting together. So we're going to do it again. We're going to do it next March 1st for the 3rd anniversary of the Star Cruiser opening. And it's going to be on the Royal Caribbean's Utopia of the Seas, which will be the newest Royal Caribbean ship for like 6 months. And then Star of the Seas will come out right before our cruise. But it is going to be, I'm so excited for it. It's going to be a great time. It's a 3-night cruise. It's going to be leaving Port Canaveral February 28th. We're going to go to Nassau, which we did go to Nassau on the Wish cruise. But then we're going to have the perfect day at Coco Cay.
Yeah.
Or Key. We don't know which one it is. It's both.
I'm going to bring up, because I think this is the most important part of it, and this is the reason why we chose the ship that we chose, is because we're going to actually have a space. We're going to have like times of like having programming, I guess. Just basically to go hang out.
Experiences. That's what Aaron Sagers called it.
We're gonna have our hangout time, so we're gonna have some moments of just like,
yes, and we don't have to like, hey guys, meet in the lobby.
Yeah.
Or hey, meet on the beach somewhere at some given time. Like, we're actually gonna have a dedicated space, and I think based off of the conversations I've been having with Royal Caribbean, we're going to not just have like the conference space, but we may be able to gather in other areas and have things like sectioned off for us or have private spaces where we can get together. So oh my God, I'm so excited.
I'm excited to see what we could accomplish.
And I still need to look, but they did send me a list of prohibited items and lightsabers were not on there. So I need to clarify.
We have to make sure.
I have to clarify. Somebody needs to make a magnet for the conference room door that says Steven's face.
I want a sign. I want like either a table or something. Like, I already told Sarah, like, I want a runner. So
like a table runner. Yeah, you've got grand plans for this. So. I'm excited. This one's been. I mean, last one was fun to plan too, but we had limitations with what we could do because it was Disney and because we didn't have any space, and so we had to get very creative. This time now we have dedicated space, and
Yeah.
so
We could be less creative.
no, creative in other ways. So yeah, it's gonna be great. But Brent says I haven't watched your episode yet on the cruise. Have you announced pricing, etc.? So we didn't do a full episode on the Good Journey cruise. We did a live stream on Sunday, but I can run through some of the basics of what that is. So we will have a conference space. We will have dedicated times booked where we can go do things. The things that we have planned so far is like the welcome meetup so that everybody gets to hang out with one another. Yes, D, I can. It's going to be a welcome party and then like swag swap. So the very first night we did a swag swap on the Wish cruise, and that was a lot of fun. We're going to do it a little earlier in the cruise. This time it won't be so late at night. Because I remember we had to leave because our kids were like, we need to go to bed. We're going to do a toast. So we're going to have like a party and dress up. Hopefully, I have to validate like how dressed up we can be, but do like an outer rim regalia. Everybody can get dressed in their finest.
Like a cocktail hour.
A cocktail hour. We're going to do some trivia and some board games, and then I really like had a beautiful moment where Sherry, one of the people from the that's in the community, basically had everybody sign a book for me, specifically for me and for us. And it just meant so much to me. And so we're going to have like a yearbook signing kind of farewell party at the end of the cruise. So it was, that was a really sweet moment as well. And so we're going to have a bunch of fun little things like that. And I'm trying to work on like, what else can I do? But it is a 3-night cruise. So I don't want to keep people like too busy. I want people to actually go on vacation as well.
No, I think that that's the plan. Is like we have this nice balance of like moments together, but then we're still gonna be on the ship together. So
yeah, so it'll be a good time. But okay, so here's more details. Some of the I don't know, particulars, if you will. So we do have rooms locked in, saved for our group specifically, and we have pricing locked in for that group. Escape room with Princess and Scoundrel. They do have escape rooms on the ships. I don't know if they have an escape room on this ship. Your dream.
My dream.
Except you love doing escape rooms. If you could do one by yourself, I think you might. But we do have pricing locked in and set for our cruise. Now, there are promotions that they're running right now that we can also take advantage of, but I think
based off of timing.
It's based off of timing. So it's kind of like, it's going to be Fast and Furious, I think, all at the beginning. But at this point, we have everything set. So why not put it on sale?
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I think we're at the point of saying, yeah, like let's go ahead and, especially because there is the stuff going on with Royal Caribbean right now. So
yeah, so they've got some good promotions going on right now. So little announcement, big announcement, maybe, I don't know. Call it what you will. I think we've gone through most of the details for what we're doing on the cruise, but it will, because I am now going to be saying this out loud. I have to go get all this stuff ready behind the scenes. We're going to go on sale June 1st. So 2 days from now, Saturday, I will be putting it up.
Okay, you're going to put it up.
I will put up all of the details. I have a website that is nearly ready to go, and I will launch that will have a good amount of the details that we talked about in the live stream on Sunday. And then we'll have the booking link for it. So once we get going, you don't need a passport. It's a closed loop cruise. It helps if you have a passport, and you do have plenty of time to get one if you want to. But yeah, it's happening.
Yeah. And then House and Doc over here sign up for the cruise at HouseCon. So yeah, it'll be sooner, but
it'll be sooner than that. So, and you have time. So it's going to be, if you're booking in the room. So here it's booking with a group is kind of strange. So we have 3 different room categories held for the room block. They hold up to 2 people each. If you're wanting a different type of cabin, or if you're wanting more people than 2 in your room and you need something else, I can book those.
Accessibility stuff.
Accessibility, like suites. Like I've already been working with people that have like different needs. I can book you and pull you into the group. That's not a problem. If you want to book within the group, and the payments are a little bit different if you're not into the group just yet. If you're booking into the group with the group rate, then it is a $200 deposit down, and then final payments not due till like December. So got time on that one, thankfully. And then we will be doing like an event ticket for all of the extra things that we have going on, but that's nominal really compared to the cost
It
of
should
a
be
cruise.
all on the website.
Yeah, it'll be all on the website. Will you have a cabin mate need group? So I did set up a Facebook group. I just need like a snazzy little, I need a photo to put up there. But I did set up a Facebook group. So I'll post the link to the Facebook group and the website probably early on June 1st on Saturday. That way people can go link up if they want to, find people to reach out to. But the booking form will ask for all of the information that I need. And then we'll get rolling. And if you were on the cruise last year and I already have your credit card information, it makes it easy. I just go say like, you want me to use this card? Otherwise, it's a couple extra steps. Ooh, I need to sneeze.
Bless you.
You made me laugh.
Sorry.
That's good.
I'm reading comments. I was like, Brian and Travis, we have the formal tunic for the hubby and the lightsaber trainer tunics. I wonder if it's something we could pull off.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, that's easy. It's more, again, the lightsabers. I think that's what we're kind of like trying to figure out.
Yeah. No, I think like if you're wearing clothes like that or even bounds or like you're dressing up, but it's kind of galactic, but like not quite, I think that's fine. I think where I'm looking is like armor, helmets, cloaks, lightsabers.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to be able to bring blasters, but like lightsabers, I'm going to work on for everybody.
Love the idea. Escape room.
OKD is going to look up to see if they have an escape room. I hadn't seen one in my initial search for it, but I know Icon of the Seas was going to have an escape room, but I was on the inaugural. Listen to this. I was on the inaugural of Icon of the Seas, and there were things that weren't available yet.
No.
And that was okay. I had the drink package.
That's what it is. You
I had
needed a drink
Godfathers.
package.
That's all you need.
Droids.
I'll ask about droids.
Okay.
Droids, lightsabers. What else do we want to ask about? It was funny because they asked. Like,
do a cruise with his health. Wait.
Yeah, and you guys could wear those, Brian and Travis. You can wear those to Galaxy's Edge, no problem. Jedi robes on it. What else are we asking about? They had me write up like a profile of what the group was about and like why we're all coming together and if there was like a website or something. And I was like, well.
Here's a Facebook page.
It was probably longer than they wanted it to be,
Oh.
but I was like, you asked.
I mean, this
So
is
here
what it
you
is.
go.
Brian and Travis, I'm actually being able to do a cruise with his health. Do you know?
Well, I
I think
know.
that's really dependent on.
I don't think
if
he's
he's able
asking
to.
us. I think he
Okay.
was just saying like in general. The things you learn when organizing a group for the first time. Yeah, totally not a cult. Oh, Utopia is supposed to have an escape room. There were a lot of things on that. But here's the I don't look back on the Peter was on the maiden voyage of the Icon too. I don't look back on that and be like, oh well, the
This wasn't
first 7 minutes of the Aqua Theater show wasn't working because it wasn't, and it never did the entire week that we were there. Like the show wasn't ready, but they put on what they could. The escape room wasn't open yet. There were a few things that just like they weren't ready for, and guess what? That's okay. Oh, like Wizard of Oz was the theater show, and they didn't have the one out for.
Ooh, okay.
For a bit.
Put a escape room sign up. See if get group times.
Escape room. I'm on it.
See if the.
Oh my god.
Oh no, I'm already like.
Stop.
It's like, is it gonna be a competition? Like,
Stop.
it's not a competition, but if there's
What prizes did you already come up with?
no, I'm not thinking of prizes. I'm just thinking of just the bragging rights.
D asked over on Instagram, are younglings, foundlings allowed? Yes. We're bringing ours.
Yeah.
So, yes. I have had a few people ask. So, Royal Caribbean cruises are kid friendly. It's not Disney, like where you would Disney, like it's inherent that like, oh, it's made for families and for little kids. Royal Caribbean does have areas for kids, like play areas, water, pools, splash pads, whatnot. And then they have kids clubs as well. So there's plenty for the kids to do as well.
Yeah.
There's also late night programming for adults if you would like to put your kids to bed and then go party. Galen says, wish I could go. Sounds like it's going to be out of this universe. I hope so. Do we need to choose a side, Team Princess or Team Scoundrel?
Oh,
Quest. Yes, Quest is a very adult late night game show. That's the other thing. I'm gonna
it's
have
always
to
a
put,
competition.
it is. I don't think we ever shared this when we were packing the boxes for the last cruise, because we sent out like swag bags ahead of time. And we had to there were a lot of different components, and like we received the boxes, and the boxes are flat, and so we had to like put together the boxes themselves. And you and I were just like sitting there. We had TV on. We're sitting on the floor.
My friends, we had
that was before he came over.
So we had dinner. No, we went to dinner with them, didn't we?
But there was something we were doing, and we were like making the boxes. Maybe we were making something, but we were sitting on the floor, and it was just you and me, and we're like, oh, okay. And so we're just like taking them off the pile and doing them. And then you started moving a little faster, and I was like, so I started moving a little faster, and then before too long, we looked over each other like, we're racing, right?
Because it was like an assembly line where you're doing the first part of it because you had the lanyards, or I was, yeah.
No, it wasn't the lanyards even, and it wasn't I don't know what it was that we were. Maybe it wasn't even for that. It was something that we were doing though, and we're just like,
well, because we were.
It was like, how many did you do? Oh yes, they will have a casino on the boat, so that's very different than a Disney cruise. So if you like to gamble,
shoot. I'm just thinking of Peter's last video, and they won a whole
on Icon of the Seas. Yeah, Peter won big on Icon. I wasn't there. I think I had texted him. I was like, hey, where are you? He's like, I'm in the casino. And like, I went to go look for him and didn't find him. I think that was the time he won all that money.
You're that jinx.
I didn't go.
That's why. That's why he was.
When you say jinx,
winning.
I think Pokemon now. Canto Bite Night. No, it's not a Disney cruise. It's Royal Caribbean cruise. It's gonna be great. I'm super excited about it. It's
we'll
gonna
see.
be.
I mean, it could be the worst
thing ever. It could be a glass half empty kind of cruise.
We go try something else.
And then we'll go try something else, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And we've got freedom here, right? Like Star Cruiser was wonderful. We wanted to go do it every single year on May 4th as a group, but we don't have that option anymore. But that's the wonderful thing about being adults is we can just kind of figure things out as we go. And if we don't like something, we can change it. We're not tied to anything. One thing many people like to do is organize slot pools where everybody puts in money and the group goes to the casino. Oh, like kind of like an office lottery type thing where everybody puts in $20 and they buy tickets. Could never be the worst thing ever with this group. No, I agree. Like it's gonna be a good, regardless of where we are.
I think that's the thing. Is like it doesn't matter where we go, we're gonna have a good time.
Yeah, it'll be good. Salo asks, any news on Star Cruiser?
It's closed.
It's closed. Nothing. All the people that loved it are going on a cruise in March. Dang. Brian says he won $1,500 on a group slot pool once. That's the problem. So, like, you and I don't gamble. Like, we live in Texas. Like, we don't have casinos here.
Yeah.
We do love to go to Dave and Buster's and do the one where, like, the quarters, like, push. Like,
yeah.
We love that. But,
The
like,
coin
we
push.
don't do, like, a real, like, we're not gamblers. Even when we went to Vegas, we were like, meh, it's all right. I went to the casino on Icon of the Seas, and I was like, I'm going to give myself, I forget, it was like $20 or $40. I was like, that's it. That's all I'm going to do. I think it was $20, and I ended up making like $80 or something. And I was like, oh, well.
And then you lost $80.
No, but I didn't. I was like, okay, I'm going to use this. And like, but it can be addictive. Like, I get it. I understand it. But I had a good time. I was playing the Wizard of Oz machines, and I had no idea what I was doing. But my sister-in-law was like, just hit that button. Yeah, just hit that button. I'm like, is there no like skill? Is there no logic? Is there no thinking that goes into this? She's like, just hit the button. I was like, okay.
I don't know. Sometimes I see them like mashing the screen, and
Yeah, I know. I don't
is
know.
that just like trying
Not
to do
this
magic on
machine.
it, or is it
Not
just
maybe, but not this machine. But yeah, it was great. I was just like, "Meow, meow, meow." And I won like $80, and I was like, cool, I'm happy. Like cashed out and
we'll see.
went and got another Godfather. It was great. They do have karaoke on the ship. Ah,
And a drink package.
and a drink package.
So we're gonna be singing karaoke.
Play Gaia. They're gonna be like, what is that? We're like, you don't know Ula Shuka? Where's DJ Rex? Oh man. The lure of gambling and the ability to quit when you're ahead. Nobody
Same
would want to
here,
hear me
Jeffrey.
sing karaoke. I mean, why not? We have drink packages. It'll be fine. I think that's a great thing.
That's
Is
when
like
you sound better than you think.
space karaoke, bring your own tunes. You're like, no, I got this one.
They're like, there's no music, ma'am.
Like,
got
it's
this.
okay. Don't
Everybody
you
holds
worry.
up their phone.
Figure and Funk comes out. Oh man, that would be fun. But yeah, I think you can like reserve times in the karaoke. I hire vocalists for my projects for a reason. Jeffrey did do an amazing. I think we talked about it on a previous live, but Jeffrey did do a great like we didn't start the fire. We didn't light the fire, right? That's what it was.
Yeah.
But it was really good. It was a really good story of a voyage on Star Cruiser, sung to the tune of "We Didn't Start the Fire." You can bring your own tracks if you can arrange it ahead of time. Oh my gosh, could you imagine? My 8-year-old lives for family karaoke on Disney Cruise Line. He has to rickroll at least once on every cruise. I was saying karaoke one time. I was ordered by my commanding officer to sing again. Here's the thing. I think I can sing. I can't.
I can't.
Um,
I don't think I can.
but with Liquid Courage, I don't care. Although I went to karaoke every single night that we were on Icon of the Seas, just because it was like it was fun. Like, sure, I can go listen to somebody sing well, but it is way more entertaining to watch somebody like give their all, whether it's good or bad.
Yeah.
Like just somebody get up there and like have the courage to go up and sing in front of people. And I was like, yes. Although if I had to listen to another Taylor Swift song, it was all Taylor Swift because it was all teenagers that were singing.
Oh, they went.
Oh my gosh. But it was great. It was a good time. So yeah, regardless of whether or not we're able to reserve karaoke for everybody, I'm probably going to be spending a lot of time in the karaoke bar just because it was fun. It was like, yeah, man, I'll go sit over there. I think the community is nice enough to give polite applause even if you're terrible. Was it our daughter saying now? She doesn't say give me a round of applause. She says give me a round of applause. And we go. Piano bar is fun too. We did spend time in the piano bar. That was fun. Like a dueling piano type of it's a fun vibe. But yeah, there's different things and there's a lot more. I felt like there was a lot more to do on Royal Caribbean. There's a lot of different types of bars to go visit. We'll see. We'll see on February 28th.
Yeah.
The other thing I'd like to do, I don't know if anybody has interest for it, is to go hang out on Batu the night before. Because it's out of Port Canaveral. So it's not that far from Orlando. Everybody's going to fly into Orlando anyway. So why not?
Maybe.
Why not? But let's talk about other things because we have a few more things that we want to talk about.
Yes.
Comic Palooza. We went to a comic convention
Yeah.
this last weekend. This
Our
is
local one.
our local convention, which we did not put any thought into
Costuming.
costuming until
Well, I think it
that
was
day.
such a, for us, it was kind of a last minute decision to go. Like we knew we wanted to go because we have some friends, I Am Geek, they have a podcast, and I think they've been able to do panels like the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And so we knew we wanted to go, but it was just like, can we make the schedule work?
Right.
And we ended up making it work. So we're like, all right, like it was one of those things that we weren't sure. So that's why I guess we were leaning more towards like, yeah, it's probably not going to happen. And then other plans fell through. So we're like, all right, well, let's go.
Let's go. And it was a great time. So I was planning on just wearing.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, I was planning on wearing my Endor poncho because I bought it and have never worn it. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to go like as a light bound because we didn't have any like. Here's the thing. We don't have cosplays that are like normal. Like I'm cosplaying as a specific character. I have Betty Bantha, who I wore last time we went to Comic Palooza. Nobody knew. And I shouldn't have expected anybody to know. Like I'm dressed like a milkmaid, but blue, and I've got blue milk. Like, unless you're at Star Wars Celebration, nobody's gonna know what that is.
It was so niche that
way too
the
niche.
general con is not gonna know.
And then you were dressed as Sammy with a BD-1 droid on your shoulder, and so like again, outside of Celebration, nobody's gonna know who that is. And so they're great in the right context, but like at a general comic con like that, it wasn't gonna fly. And so we're like, we have nothing. So it's like I have an Endor poncho I could wear, and so I put that on, and I was like, well, as I was thumbing through it, I had an Ahsoka dress from her universe that my friend TJ sent me because it didn't fit her, and so she was like, hey, do you want this? I was like, yeah, sure. And I was like, I don't know when I'm ever gonna wear it. Well, I wore it, and it turned out good. And I was like, well, now I've got to do my hair. Now I'm gonna like do my makeup and do all these things with it, and it worked out.
I thought about doing something for like a second, and Texas is hot, so I said, nah.
Yeah.
I was like, nah, I'm okay.
But
I don't have I didn't have like a costume, so I was like, I don't have anything. I'm not gonna even try.
Yeah. So we did like bounds more than anything. Our daughter was just like rummaging through. She's got costumes galore, so she was Cinderella. And of course, like we didn't decide to dress up until like an hour before we planned to leave for the convention. So we're like, wow, we gotta throw things together. And then our son, again, any of the cosplays we've made for him are like Halloween costumes. He's outgrown them, and so he ended up wearing an Arkina jumpsuit.
Oh yeah.
So that worked out. But yeah, it was kind of like, it was like a mad scramble to get out of the house. So anyway, so we get there and we got to go watch our friends I Am Geek do their podcast, and they were podcasting with Skywalking Through Neverland. And it was really, really, really good panel where they Star Warsified. They each picked a Disney attraction at either Disneyland or Disney World, and they like rethemed it to Star Wars, which was fun. And then we walked the show floor.
Yeah. So this, I'm going to say that in prior years, not being negative, but in prior years, it was a lot bigger.
Yes.
And if you went pretty consistently, you noticed that it was like
grander, I think is the right word, because bigger. Yes, they didn't actually. They didn't
have all the areas filled.
They didn't have all the areas filled.
And then like the aisles were wider. Like you could just tell that it was just like wider and less vendors there.
Less vendors, less like huge installations and interactive things.
Yeah.
So like,
and then
we're in Houston. It's in Houston, so there's like, usually NASA has like this huge exhibit where you can walk through things, and they've got games, and they've got a stage, and you can meet astronauts and do all these things. They didn't have that.
So the other thing I was like, when we were talking about it was, is it because now we've been to like San Diego, MegaCon, like these bigger cons, that this one seems smaller? Because I mean, it was smaller before, but it didn't feel necessarily small. But like now, being at the big ones, does it feel that much smaller?
No, but I think there were a lot of things that they had in the past that they took away this year as well. Like, I think just objectively looking at like Comic Palooza year over year, they didn't have as much interaction, and it was more about the vendors.
Okay.
I think they did have a really good like kids area.
Oh yeah.
That we walked through like a little bit, but it was for the most part, it was a lot of vendors, and it was a lot of different types of vendors that we hadn't seen before. So there was a lot of anime, and a lot of like kawaii stuff, and it was less about. It felt like it was less about like what you would think when you think about pop culture, where you think like Marvel and comic books and Star Wars.
I wonder if there's like a crackdown, because that's what it was. It was like there wasn't as many, because usually when you do like Artist Alley and stuff like that, there's a lot of IPs or like their
It's a lot of superheroes.
yeah, like their drawings of those characters.
Yeah.
Whereas this one seemed there was a lot of just like there was some of that, but just more like original artwork, like
Yeah.
original artwork.
Yeah.
So like I wonder if that's maybe why.
Maybe. But it
Because
was
like
also,
two like that and like lightsaber stands, there used
there was
to
like
be
2
yeah, there
or
was, like,
3
yeah.
maybe.
but there used to be a ton.
Yeah. So yeah, it was just a different shift, and there used to be a ton of like t-shirt vendors where you can go buy
Or like the
Whatever kind of-
toys,
the boxes, the mystery boxes.
yeah, like those and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
like, it just didn't seem as there was as many.
Yeah. There wasn't as much variety as I feel like there's been in years in the past, but we still had a great time. Like we
Yeah.
walked through. I bought some art. It was like a little, I don't know how to describe it. It was like if Super Mario had a tube TV, like a CRT TV
yeah,
for a head, and he was also maybe like an astronaut robot. It was very cute. But yeah, so we walked the show floor.
The Mirabelle Mando. That was
Mirabelle Mando, yeah. That was
Chocodoc.
her Instagram is Chocodoc. But she was like, yeah, I mean, I like put together a little last minute type of Bound. She said Bound. She said Disney Star Wars Bound. And she didn't say what it was. And then we ran into each other on the show floor. And she's got a whole.
I was like, it was cool. I was like looking. I was like, man, that's really good.
She did a
It
really,
came out
really
really
good job.
Like it was just like a perfect balance of armor, Mirabelle,
Yeah, no,
colors.
she did a fantastic job on that. So we got to see her. We got to see a few people that we know.
Yeah, I mean, there was people that stopped us
That was weird.
that watched the show. So shout out to
Thank you. For
I know
that.
Michael. We talked to Michael and then
Gracie. It was Gracie and Michael.
yeah. So shout out to you. And then somebody else stopped us. Yeah.
We didn't get their name.
Yeah. He just stopped and said he watched the show and thanks.
But it was like us.
Yeah.
Are you sure? It was very sweet. But yeah, so we got to walk the show floor. I think the coolest thing for me is, like I said, it felt different from years past in that there weren't as many things to interact with, but our son and you have been very, very much into Pokemon cards lately and collecting Pokemon cards. And we missed Collecticon, which is like the big convention for Pokemon card collecting, by like a couple weeks. And so we're like, okay, we'll go to this one and we'll see if they have anything. And there turned out to be like 5 or 6 different vendors that were selling Pokemon cards, but it was super cool because our son had brought some cards that he wanted to trade, and he went in and he knew what he wanted, and so he was going in there and looking and
The thing that I especially like in these little things that he, just seeing him grow is like those proud moments. It was Star Cruiser, him, going on these little adventures, but like this, like something that he enjoys to do, he enjoys doing, and you could just see him just like have the bravery to do. Like typically he's like, Mom, can you do this? Dad, can you do this? Real meek and shy. But this is like, hey, maybe they'll want to trade for this. I was like, well, you gotta ask them, you gotta see. So they start looking at the cards, like, well, let me look at this one, and how about this, and this, doing the whole deal, and just like sitting there watching him, letting him go, and you're just like, oh man, like,
you're like,
so.
Yeah, it was,
make his little mistakes, because afterwards you're like, oh man, I think that card was a little bit more worth than what he got, but
it's fine though.
he's gonna.
It's fine. But yeah, it was really sweet because like the first place that we went up to, I think he was a little like nervous to talk or say anything, and so you did most of it, and then I watched it like over the course of like the next vendor, and by the last one, I think you had gone off to look at something else, and I was like hovering, like I was like, I don't want, if he wants to go have this interaction with the vendor and like talk to them and whatever, I don't want them to look to me when he's willing to speak for himself. And I try to do that anywhere, like go to a restaurant, order for yourself. And so I kind of stuck back. You were like way off, and he just walks up there. He's like, oh, I'm looking for 151s. Do you have any? What do you have? Are you willing to trade? Here's what I've got. And he's like, just going. And I was just like, oh.
Yeah.
I was texting you. I was like, your kid's making deals over here. Get back over here. But it was really sweet to watch. That I think that to me was the highlight, was getting to just like watch him shine and just interact, because for the most part now, lately, or up until now, like it's been the two of you guys opening cards, and I open a pack here and there and I'm like, wow. And you're like, no, that's not good.
Oh yeah, I think that's I don't know. It's been cool to be able to like to bond with, again, connect with them.
Yeah.
Type of thing, because sometimes he'll like some odd weird things and just kind of like I don't know if I like that, but Pokemon cards, there's something about it that's that we both enjoyed, so
Yeah.
it's a nice like little hobby that we could both have.
It's very sweet. You do have another hobby that takes up a lot of your time
Of lately. Yeah.
You're a runner, you're a track star.
Yeah. I try not to like talk about it.
Well, let
'cause
me
I
talk
don't-
about it for you.
I don't, well, because the thing is, like, when they ask you, like, oh, like the vegan joke of, like, if they're a runner, don't worry, they'll tell you. So I don't, like, that's not what I start off with. But yes, like you said, I've started running, and I started doing, and I did a shout out before, but to Ken and Diana, like, they kind of like, hey, we do this thing, but it's like
And Steph. Steph does it too.
yeah, the Conqueror Challenge. It's a virtual race, and they have these. You've probably seen them. You've probably seen like the ads for them.
And if you haven't yet, you're about to.
Yeah.
Thanks to us.
But like, look at this medal. Here, I'm gonna put it to me. Look how that is the front, and then the back. Like, they actually move. So I'm just like sitting here. So yeah, it's a cool little, like, it's a cool run thing. Like, they have an app, so you see your progress. And then you could see, because we have the group that's basically the Star Cruiser group.
Yeah.
So you could see if they're doing the same race as you. You could see
Where they are on
yeah.
the
On the
track.
race, yeah.
But you did, so let me boost you up. You did the pod race, which was,
The first one.
how many miles was that?
I think it was 140. Which it's,
And when did you start this?
It takes your runs and also like workouts and like steps for your day. So kind of like there's a, there's for any kind of activities you do, it counts.
Yeah.
So it just takes it off your Apple Watch or Apple device or whatever, or mine, in my case, Apple device.
Sarah needs to get her space buns on, cue the music, and present Steven with his medal. I would like to play the part of Chewie, actually. Thank you very much.
You don't get.
I'm not going to get a medal. Not with the way I've been running.
But no, so like it, I've been running and working out, and we've been trying to get our steps in. So it's
For these dang happy cats.
so
that we
it's
have.
been like a full like overhaul of exercise for me. So it's become easier to finish these things.
But you've crushed it. Okay. So let me brag about you now. So the pod race was 141 miles. You started it, I think, like May 1st, maybe.
No, it didn't come out to May 4th,
Okay. May 4th.
but I didn't get it till after.
Okay. It is May 30th, and you have run 141 miles. And you just finished your second race. Which one was that one? Was that the Death Star?
No, that was the I'd say it was Attack of the Clones one. So it was trying to remember what it was.
Let's see what it was. It was.
It was Geonosis.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, it was something in Geonosis.
Let me look up this.
So they're like
advance.
they're like themed. So this one's like pod race. So it's supposed to be in the first movie, but it's really just the pod
The
race.
Jedi Order.
Yeah.
So the Jedi Order was 117 miles, and you did that one in 10 days. You started that one on May 18th, and you finished on May 28th.
Well, I think the other thing to
Sir.
say is because the running that I'm doing is like training for a marathon type training. Like I'm running like a lot. It's not just like a little bit. It's a lot. It's like 10 miles.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you ran 10 miles on
so I
Sunday.
think that's the thing. That's don't. It's not like I'm.
Let me.
I'm running. I don't know if that's helping my case or not, but so I'm running a whole bunch. So it's
Let me
not
boost
a-
you up,
it's
though,
not a normal
dude.
thing.
You ran. What? How many
I'm not
miles?
okay. I'm running too much.
You ran 140 miles in 12 days. Then in the next 10 days, you ran 117 miles.
Yeah, it's.
Yes, stop being so humble. You're-
I'm not. Look, Mary. I'm not used to it. I don't. I'm
I'm
not.
proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Teresa's saying, so if you walk 10,000
guys, just
steps a
wait.
day for a cat, that could help you get a medal.
Just
Possibly.
wait till you see my beach body, though.
Ooh, I've seen it. Just wait till you guys see it. I enjoy it. But yeah, so you got that medal. You've been crushing. I think there's 6 races in total. There's a referral code, so if anybody wants to do it, reach out to that guy. I would walk 500 miles. But you have a referral code, right? That you could share out
yeah,
there.
you could. Yeah,
So if anybody wants to do it, and there's a Star Cruiser group that you can sign up and see everybody else that's doing it as well. And I think you have like a year, 2 years from when you sign up. You don't have to do it in 10 days or 12
No,
days
no, no,
like
no.
you've done. You can do it in like a year. Like you could do your 100 miles in like a year.
Yeah.
And not all of the races are the same distance either. There's some, like I think you did Doug says 2 years. So I think you did, I think it's like over 600 miles total for all 6 of the races, but you can do them at your leisure.
Yeah.
And it counts your steps that you already do. So that's not bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I've enjoyed it. It's given me a little bit of. Right now for these, the motivation is like to see my progress on the map or on the app, and then getting the medals, because just playing with them, because they're
cool.
they're more than just like a medal where you can just look at it and you can actually spin things on it. So that's cool.
We turned it into a competition today on who could spin.
Man, it's a really good bearing. Like you're able to spin that motor.
That was like the first thing you said when you opened it and you spun it. You're like, that's a really good bearing. But yeah, today we had my phone out. We were like, all of us in the house were like spinning it and hit the timer and then like see how long
We
it
almost got it
lasts.
for like a good 30 seconds.
It was close.
So
That's what happens when we don't let our kids have iPads. We're like, let's spin this medal and see how long it lasts. Back in our day, this is all the entertainment we
yeah,
had.
you had a rock and a stick.
God, that's our favorite. Like, I think our favorite saying right now. Besides, the thing is, our second favorite saying is to tell our kids, well, back in our day, we had to watch 8 minutes of ads for a 30-minute cartoon.
I know, we couldn't skip.
Oh, man. Steven did 2 years of worth of running in less than 25 days, is what you're saying. Basically. Crushed it. You crushed it. We can touch on this briefly, but we're already over time. We've been also, it sounds like we've been doing nothing and everything, because we've talked about all the movies we've watched. We've talked about all of the group trips that we're working on behind the scenes and whatnot. But we've also carved out time to be playing video games, which is something you and I have not done together in quite some time.
All right, so I'm going to kind of put this right here. You guys let us know. And you know what? We're going to put like a poll.
Can you put a poll?
On our well, not right now,
Okay.
but on Instagram. We're going to put a poll to see if you guys want to watch. We started playing Overcooked. The first couple rounds, it was
like that one time we played Resistance and we thought it was going to end in divorce.
it was
we were so mad.
it was very heated because we're like, no, I need this type of. You need to cut this. You need to do this. So we were like at it. We've gotten in a groove. We've been doing pretty good. We've had some moments where we don't get 3 stars, but we go back. Yes, Brett. Like we got the Overcooked packages.
Adding video game competitions to Steven's room. Everybody bring your Switch. We'll have a screen.
But yeah, Sarah's like, oh, this would be funny content of us trying to 3-star all these.
We were I just remember like the first day we played, we were so pissed at each other. Like, I think
We
you were
had to
like,
stop. We
because
were
you were
like,
like, you were like, well, what do you want to do? I was like, I don't want to play anymore. I don't want to be sitting on this couch playing this game with you. Like, I need a break. It's like, I'm chopping the onions. I don't know what you want from me. But now we do it. Like the last one we did, we was just like, I was working on my stuff, you were working on your stuff, and we were just like, okay, switch. And then we would switch. And like, it was
but see,
so
that's the
calm.
part though, is like when we're doing good, it's quiet. It's just like,
yeah, I don't know that would be good content,
Yeah.
but like when we're getting into it, just like grab the pot. It's a very, when mom and dad are fighting, yeah, it's a very high stakes game. It was really fun though. We were playing earlier today, and then somebody texted, and I was like, go get on this thing right now. And we're like, ah! So we had to stop playing, but it's good times. 16 years of marriage, and Melissa will still not play Monopoly with me anymore. I don't blame you. Monopoly is not fun. Nagging your partner to wash the dishes in reality and the virtual world. Well, that was the other thing. Is like, were you cooking last night or a couple nights ago? And like, I was doing all your prep.
well, because there was one time that I was supposed to be doing dishes,
No, I meant
and then
in
you
real
kept
life.
doing. Oh,
Like, I think we were making chicken parmesan,
Oh.
and I was doing the prep and like getting the, like, you're like, can you start the oil? Can you get the seasonings out? Can you prep this? Can you get me some plates? Can you do all these things? And I was like, yes, chef. Yes, chef. So I was like, wow, it's like real life overcooked. Oh my goodness, Brian and Travis's June. Am I saying that right?
June
June
22nd.
22nd will be, that's like spaghetti. We'll be 15 years married and friends since 97. Oh my goodness. That's a commitment. That's a big commitment. Yeah, why are we playing a video game
Wow.
of like things
Almost
that that's almost 30 years, bro.
Oh man.
Yeah. Sorry.
Which one?
Hate to break it to you. Dang it. I don't know why we stress ourselves out playing a video game about cooking when most nights we're like, so
Take out.
chicken nuggets from the freezer.
Denny's.
Oh my goodness. All right. I mean, we've covered a lot.
Yeah. I think we got to talk about what we wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
Next episode, and then the next live. We'll see you then.
No,
Thank you, everybody.
We're not wrapping it like that.
Thank you, everybody. We love you.
We do. We will see you
The next time.
the next time. And then the next
And then,
time.
and then the next time. Until next time.
Until next time.